Okay.
Okay.
I think we might be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we live?
I think we might be live. Do just let us know. Send us a thing in the chat, and we will.
Yep. Or DM at Central Hob.
Yeah, just let us know if we're back. We're gonna get back to our big yap sesh. So, what we were talking about? We're talking about the open mic. We're talking about some musical things.
Yeah. Well, we talked about. I don't know if we should go over anything quickly. We
Thanks for letting us know.
Fantastic. We talked about the UUOO or Woo gig that we went to, the sort of electronic musician and jazz trumpet player, doing a lot of really interesting stuff texturally with trumpet and the electronics, and it was quite dancey, and we sat right next to the subwoofer. We had an amazing time.
Yeah, we got a nice sofa.
Yeah.
It was lovely. He has this wonderful way of moving between quite far removed places. Like he'll go from really like interesting sort of ambient dark trumpet thing, and then he'll go into this like proper techno stuff, and it'll be a bit dancey for a bit, and then he'll take it places. He'll go out into like pretty major ambient stuff. He's got a really nice interplay with using tonality and textures like hand in hand in a really cool way.
Yeah.
That really lends itself to the style, and it's pretty inspiring because it's all improvised as well. Like
well, he's a trained improviser, I suppose, probably first and foremost, and then that really seems to be at the forefront of the way that he does things. Especially the playing side of it.
Yeah,
but cool.
Honestly, like you wouldn't necessarily know that he had improvised the set. You'd think it was pretty planned out. And maybe there's a bit of a rough plan. When I've seen him perform before, he has got a similar kind of. He goes to similar kinds of places, and he does kind of use a similar, but different structure. And I think it is all kind of improvised. Except he's got some things prepared. So like, this might be just going off on one, but he uses all sorts of really nice techniques. So he uses dummy clips in Ableton.
Yeah.
Where you can have a blank audio track with no audio in it, and record an empty clip of audio. And now, what's nifty in Ableton is on any audio clip you can record automation onto it.
Yeah.
So he's got these just empty audio clips that have got automation written on them.
Yeah.
So that could be a big 16 bar filter sweep or something to help build to the drop while he's doing other stuff. It could be this, that, it could be like pushing reverb and things. And it's a really useful technique, and it gives him a lot of freedom to have like systems in place where he can trigger something. Because actually, like, you are limited by how many fingers you've got to turn knobs. So this gives you the same level of control, and you can use it improvisatory, but you don't have to have your fingers turning the knobs. You can sort of set it off on its own. Yeah. And it's really effective.
Giving away the big secrets of the man.
Well, one of them, yeah, it's one of his really cool tricks that he uses. I probably shouldn't reveal it live, but this stuff is out there. But very, very cool, very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, and we were talking about the what's it called? Sunday Sessions open mic on February 1st, which is coming up, and just how much of a nice environment it is, and how you should totally, if you're watching this, you should totally go along. We'll be there. We're going to play a set which we have the next week to come up with, and should be really cool.
Yeah, which in our set we're going to be going ham with the electronics. I'm gonna get it set up. We're gonna sort of try and get a Wazik set that's as interesting live as it is on the record, but in a different way. So dummy clips are going to be used. I've been doing some trial setups. I'm working on another project, but it's kind of just using the same sorts of tools.
Yeah. And
the same dummy clip ideas are quite useful. So thanks, Woo, for that. But yeah, I think a nice thing to do would be for me to go have a poo.
You're going to leave me to it?
I'm going to leave you to it. So I think it'd be good to kind of, we want to sort of lean into talking about the philosophy behind Central Hob, and because where we are now is we're very small. We're just starting the CIC to do community operations, and then we've got another branch which is more of what most people will be familiar with as doing, gigs and music stuff. But the two are connected by the same kind of underpinning philosophy, and I'm gonna poo myself.
Someone's always running up to the toilet in these streams for whatever reason. Hi guys. I'm feeling a lot better this week, so I feel like I can be trusted to run this for a little bit. Hope that you're enjoying watching. So as Finn said, the philosophy of the Central Hob organization is mainly about, like we talked about last week, community outreach, or creating a community of people within musical events, and sort of having there's a charity aspect to it as well, because we are a non-profit organization. So Finn has recently completed all the paperwork to launch a CIC with work that him and Tom Culling are doing in with Ukrainian children in Solihull, which is really cool. So that's going to be registered very soon. I'm not really involved or in charge of that side of things. What I have to do with is the other side, which is sort of events, management, and just the musical side of things. Finn and I have an open mic, which we run at the White Swan once a month, which we are probably going to run next towards the end of February. We've been sort of thinking about rejigging it slightly so that it is a little more than an open mic. I think we don't want to advertise it as just an open mic where, there's a bit of an audience and people come and you play a completed song and that there's pressure. We want to create more of an environment for people to hang out, an environment for people to just sort of feel themselves, maybe show off a bit of an unfinished project or song or work that they might not be 100% completely confident in yet, but the idea is that there's no expectation for them to be, and yeah, we're thinking carefully at the moment. We were going to do it next week actually, but we've both been so busy the last couple of weeks. We haven't quite had enough time to really think about how it's going to run. Oh, do you not know, Stella? We've postponed it because we've been busy and we haven't promoted it at all, and that was kind of my job. But I'm coming up with a bit of a plan for the next one, because we wanted to make it something really special, and we want to have a little more time to do that, to really get it right, so that we get a lot of people coming, and so that people can really get a grasp for what it's about, not just performance, but community and coziness, and networking's not really a good word to use, I think, but just for like-minded people or not so like-minded people to get together and chat and share their ideas. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll be able to come to the next one, I'm sure. We'll choose a date that you can do. Absolutely. And for anyone else watching, if there is anyone, how many people are, I can't actually see. For anyone else who might be watching, please do come along. Follow us on social media, and you'll see when we post about it and advertise it. It's going to be basically, we get to run a pub for an evening, as Finn puts it, and that's an exciting thing because we can really make it a unique space for one night only, once a month. So yeah, that's what's going on that side of things. What else have we got? Last week, Finn and Stella, while I was away somewhere, talked about the new artist that we've been working with, that Finn's been working with, Isabel Heather, and I've been listening to some of the music that's coming out of those sessions, and it's absolutely, I'm sure it'll be a while before any of you can listen to it, but it's absolutely gorgeous, so that's something that I'm very excited about. We've also got we've also got Frozen Peas album is coming along. Nothing's been officially announced yet, but we're looking for a venue to do our launch, and I was in the studio for some of the final touches on mixing, and it's all sounding very, very nice indeed. The Wazix appearance at the Sunday Sessions open mic is really the beginning of the beginning of a new direction for us as more of a performing band, I think, because we have a bunch of music, but we really had no plan when we were making it, and so there was no context for actually releasing it and putting it out into the world, and we didn't quite realize any of it. So I think we're sitting on some really cool stuff. Not to make excuses for not having done anything, but we are doing stuff. It's just going to be a little while. So that's really exciting, and if you follow in the Central Hob, you'll see what we get up to very, very soon. Finn's back, just in time to talk about, I don't know, something. Maybe the CIC stuff, because that was on the last stream that didn't go through.
Oh yeah, the open mic is postponed.
Yeah.
Did you talk about our rebranding ideas?
I did. I've explained.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm quite excited about it. I think it feels good. It feels like we're gonna actually bring something to the table, but with this new rebranding, because there's plenty there now.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So the CIC stuff. Really, there's not a lot to talk about. It's lots of boring legal stuff that will enable us to get funding properly. The legal structures are in place so that we're all decent people and we wouldn't do anything dodgy. But now, if any of us turn to the dark side, we could not get away with it. So it means that the money in the CIC exists. Any money and any profits must be reinvested into the community. None of the profits, none of that stuff can be paid out to us or there aren't shareholders. It's guarantors.
You're not going to run away with it and go to Tahiti.
Nope. If the company goes bust and debts are paid off, we don't take any of the assets. They must go to charity. It's lots of legal things. We've got to keep lots of records of all of our meetings and stuff. For anyone interested in learning how this works, in probably a couple months' time, we might have a proper chat about how to set one up and things, and what's valuable about it. But given we're in quite early stages of it, I think it would probably be in poor taste for me to give any advice. It's quite straightforward. It's just a chore to read it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good thing for everyone, because it's just a legal structure that proves and makes it so we can't do anything dodgy. Not that we would, but because that structure's in place, we automatically gain a little bit more trust from funding bodies and things, which is quite helpful. Oh shit, I just clipped the mic with my little... Oops.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. Apologies, folks. Do let us know how the sound is this time, because I realised on the last stream it was very quiet, so I've made it really loud this time. And let us know if there's any latency between the video and the audio, because that can be a bit disturbing to watch, and I can probably fix that.
Is it if I speak like this for the rest of the stream, am I going to come across
Hello, folks.
mysteriously? Hello, folks.
Let me tell you a story about a duck named Bill.
You had a bill.
Yeah, he actually didn't. It was ironic.
What's a bill?
It's like calling a tall man small. He didn't have a bill. He was the only duck without a bill. And he'd go out onto the pond with the other ducks, and they'd all rip the piss out of him. And because he was in a bit of a hard way, he was quite a large duck. He could fend for himself. He ended up getting into a bit of trouble and extorting other ducks. And then he joined in with his. He just got in with the wrong duck crowd and joined the duck mafia, and continued to be a big extortioner. They call him Big Bill, because he's got no bill.
Do you know the song Big Bad Bill is sweet?
Video's better.
William
Good.
now.
No,
It's kind of the opposite of that.
yeah,
Raikuda, it's a great song. You should check it out. Anyway,
yeah. So
um,
I had something I was gonna talk about, and it's gone out of my head a little bit.
well,
But
if you think about it, I can give the well, it's actually not really much of a news segment.
oh yeah, some news. Oh, we could do a tea review as well. Should we do a tea review segment?
Yeah,
So
we could do a tea review segment.
we've got an idea for a new segment. Is each week or every couple of weeks we'll try out a new tea and coffee. So we're starting it off strong. I've got a Yorkshire, like a nice milky Yorkshire tea, and it's very tasty. It's probably see, it's a Yorkshire tea, so that would make it a 10 out of 10 because it's from Yorkshire. It's a slightly not strong, so I'm going to call it a 9 out of 10. There we go.
I reckon because it's such a big mug,
It's
and I filled it
different.
right up. I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe. Yeah, a little more diluted than because I quite like a strong tea as well. I've got no idea what I'm drinking. It's not the Tesco Gold stuff. I moved on to whatever was at the back of the cupboard this morning. It's been there for a while.
Instant coffee.
Instant coffee. It tastes pretty good. But my lovely housemate Sam donated me a coffee bean grinder and cafetiere. So I'm gonna start getting a little more fancy with it. You know. Soon to come, but that'll be in a couple of weeks' time. I'll start reviewing whatever coffee I have next.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Joining us for that little segment. That's going to be a nice little feature. Next week, I'm going to try green tea.
Speaking of reviews, I saw a film the other day, which was scored by, and I can't remember how to pronounce her name. The Icelandic composer, Hildur. I think it's like Guðnadóttir or something, but it's an Icelandic name, so it's
Yeah.
Guðnadóttir or Guðnadóttir, and she's a really great modern composer and film composer, and the film was the second 28 Years Later movie, Bone Temple, and I really enjoyed the score for that. That's in latest news. Also in latest news, as you may be aware, War
Just
Child.
put a link to her Spotify page in the chat.
She did the Joker score a while ago, which made her quite popular, I think. Also in news, War Child Records releasing the second Help album for charity. The first one that they did was about 30 years ago. I think it was 1995, and the idea was that they'd get a bunch of massive artists together to make a record, and all the profits would go to supporting people in war-torn areas who are impoverished and who are generally suffering. And the first one was like, I think Paul McCartney was on it, Radiohead were on it. I want to say. Oasis. Did I say Oasis? No. Oasis were on it.
Big names.
Yeah, massive names, and they're doing a second one now, 30 years later, and it's like Arctic Monkeys have released a song for it. I think Damon Albarn, Pulp is doing something for it. Olivia Rodrigo is doing a song for it, which a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going on. But I listened to the new Arctic Monkey song. It's pretty good. I haven't been like their last album was fine.
Yeah. I think a nice little segment as well is I've for a few years I've tried to listen to a new album every week. I've not quite managed every single week, but this week my album that I've listened to, if I can find it on here, is What Colour Is Love by Terry Collier. It's a really nice album. He's got a really interesting voice, this guy. He sounds a bit like Ella Fitzgerald, but not really. It's just that he sounds like a woman with a really low voice, for whatever reason. It's a really beautiful kind of voice. It's from 1973. It's quite straightforward, like folky-ish he's got some really lovely guitar parts, and there's bits and bobs of kind of cool little instrumentation things, bits and bobs with band. And the album cover is quite striking as well. You'll recognise it straight away. It's like it's a woman with a cigarette, sort of skinny and naked, sat on a chair, looking kind of sad, and the framing of it is a little bit peculiar, obviously by choice. Like typically you have, if someone's eyes are looking one way, you have them on the other end of the frame, but they've done the opposite, and it's quite a striking image. And the album is really nice. It's definitely worth a listen. The first song right off the bat is like 9 minutes long, and it's really good. Yeah, give it a listen.
Yeah, I think album of the week is good.
Yeah, I think maybe.
My album of this week is Native Dancer by Wayne Shorter. I've been enjoying that one a lot. Just nice. Many Brazilian influences on that album, which is what I'm really into at the moment. So I've just been super, really enjoying that one. Very funky, very 70s, but it's also Wayne Shorter, so it's not too cheesy. He's one of the greatest saxophonists, and some really great vocalists on that. Brazilian actually. I might be wrong, but vocalists on that album. Yeah. Do you know what I need to? I need to watch the Barracudas. Speaking of Barracuda, I need to watch his Buena Vista Social Club movie, which is about because I've been listening to the album for years. It's about he went to Cuba and got all these these revolutionary Cuban musicians who were all in their 90s, some of them, and got them back because their music had never really been recorded. Mm-hmm. And he set out on a mission to go and get them all together and get their music recorded and put out the album and make a documentary, a film of it. And I know the album very well, but I've never watched the movie, so that's on my watch list. Maybe by next week I'll be able to review it for you. Yeah, that
sounds great. That's something I've wanted to do for ages. Something I had this mad idea in year 12, where I was like, right, I am going to get really good at doing sound stuff. Then I'm gonna get someone to give me a bunch of money, or I'll just spend a bunch of money. I'm gonna travel all over the world to loads of really small countries without much money, and I'm gonna find interesting music and I'm gonna record it, and I'm gonna try and find a way of getting them so that they can get paid, Western money for their music, and do something really nice and cool.
That's what Barracuda did, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's nice to know someone's done it, and
it's amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And on that note, if you want to go see the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire Jazz Salsa Orchestra on the 12th of February, then come along. We'll be doing some of that music.
It'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose, how much did you talk about the philosophy stuff?
Well, I talked about the fact that we were interested in building communities, which we talked about a lot last time, and then I just kind of siphoned it into this is charity side, and then I talked about the open mic, which is also very much rooted in that philosophy.
Yeah.
So if there's anything else you want
to... Yeah, I think a big part of the kind of philosophy that ties things together is valuing process over product, which I am actually currently writing an essay about. And what I mean by that is enjoying the process of writing a song rather than trying to have a song written, if that makes sense. And it's quite important to value it this way around, because often it's really not done at all. It's a lot of projects, and because the way you get funding and stuff, and in schools, it's about the product. It's what are the outcomes? But actually, kind of thinking of it in that way, it's important, and it's really helpful to have things to look back on. And in the projects we've done with the Frozen Peas writing camps, it's really nice to have artifacts and have something to be working towards. But I do tend to find that with creative stuff especially, it's much more valuable to cherish the process of creating and enjoy the process of creating. And I think there's a lot of implications in that in today's world. Earlier we were talking a bit about AI and how it's terribly uncreative, and but people are worrying about it taking our jobs and stuff. I'm really not, and especially with this kind of philosophy, it's like, well, you can, when it gets to a point where you can instantaneously have anything you would like to be created, then the product effectively becomes worthless because it's just at your fingertips. And I think the way that the music world is in a funny place where it's hard to make money out of the product of music. You struggle to. You can make money from selling CDs and tickets and from experiences and stuff, but Spotify money is practically nothing, especially for smaller artists. We will have a guest who'll be able to talk about his. He's an indie artist that is quite on it with like playlisting and stuff, and we'll hear about his views, which will be different to mine.
Yeah, I was thinking of you yesterday in rehearsal with a conductor. Shall remain nameless that I'm working with at the moment, and he said like. He was talking about getting the best out of rehearsals, and he was like, what is as a musician, like, what do we do? Like, what's the goal of a musician? And he said, the goal is the concert. He was like, the goal is the concert, and is you being up there on the stage on the day of the concert and giving your best on that day on the concert, and the goal is you communicating absolutely the best of what you can do and the best of what the music is during the concert on that day. And I thought I thought if you'd been in that room, you'd be like,
actually, fuck you.
Actually,
that's bullshit.
I disagree.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
Yeah,
and that ethos is why so many classical musicians of such a high standard hate music. Like, it's like, it's mad. In the world of like music college and stuff, the general enjoyment of music is it's quite interesting because often people that don't do music at university are really into it and love music in so many ways and go to see music. People at music college, funnily enough, just don't enjoy music as much. Quite a lot of them, anyway. I've definitely had ups and downs with music in this world and in this environment where you're kind of, if it's about the product, about the best concert possible, then that puts like a pressure on, and that means your practice is so focused on getting the best. And if you're so like driven in that way, then you're not really going to enjoy it as much. Maybe some people like doing that, and that's fair enough. But in my experience, not really. Like, it puts people off. It puts kids off, and there's like with parents, you get so many parents that put so much pressure on their kids to learn music, and they get really good at playing piano, but they don't really like it, and and it sucks. And that ethos is really messed up, and we need to make sure that kind of that does not touch us, that ethos of best concert. Because really, like, you'll do the concert that you're going to do.
Yeah.
And a good concert, he's like, he's right about it being about communication.
Yeah.
I mean, the best that you can do, what does that even mean?
Yeah. Well, he said, like, the best of yourself, like you're showing your abilities. But then I do agree with you that kind of ethos makes for, and it depends on who you are and what you want, really. At the end of the day, what you want out of life and what your relationship with music is. And if you're happy with that, then that's fine. But if you don't have music in your life outside of the kind of music that puts pressure on you, then I can't imagine that it would be particularly enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I suppose the point of all of this is that is the ethos of the Central Hob revolutionary movement.
Yeah, well,
not that that's what it is, but it's about creating a space
It's about being creative.
It's about being creative, yeah, and
At the core, it's about being creative.
yeah. And the fruits of that particular creativity will be shared, and you will be able to be a part of it, or enjoy it, or listen to the music, or be, whatever comes out of it. But that's sort of, I guess that's not the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've been doing a bit of reading into the Arts Council. I had like a kind of a workshopy thing about it, and I've read through their statement for 2026, and I noticed that there's what exists is a lot of stuff that's like you get beginners into it, and then there's a few different stages, and they kind of, one of their aims is to, which I think is quite good, is to sort of bridge the gap between like amateur and professional music. And actually I think that what we're doing is a lot of that, because really when you value enjoying making music and you take away kind of the competitive and you don't value the technicalities of it as much, and it's more about being expressive and being creative, then it naturally lends itself to allowing people to collaborate across sort of skill levels, if you want to call it that.
That's true, yeah.
And like as evidence to it is like the Frozen Peas is a mix of people, mostly highly proficient musicians, and me, who like
you're a highly proficient musician.
Not in any kind of technical playing proficiency at all. Completely self-taught in that world, and I probably couldn't even do grade 6. Like I could if I put my mind to it, but that's that.
Yeah.
But it's nice because it's about creativity and it's about enjoying playing music together, and with the stuff happening in like the open mic in Manchester. That's really nice because you've got people that sort of do music all the time, and you get people that love music, and then they're not doing it for their degree and stuff, but they still love it, and you've got this total collaboration, and it's a totally level playing field, and that kind of thing is really important. And I think that by kind of like, I hate the idea of music industry,
Yeah.
and I think like it's a shame that it's not. Everyone isn't just able to be creative.
Yeah.
And I think that there's as much that we can kind of give to people with no musical or artistic experience as, the highest level professional musicians, some of them, equally are missing as much as one another, I think, across the board. I don't know.
Yeah, well, what was I going to say? I honestly forgotten. I was going to say something about that, but but I generally agree with the point that although I would say that it is especially in the world of music, it certainly is easier than ever. Without us having to do anything, it is easier than ever for people to be creative, and also for them to be listened to.
Yeah.
It's just a fact, right? It's just a given that anyone, like even 20 years ago, this wasn't really like you'd have to get signed, or you'd have to spend a lot of money on equipment to be able to record your own music and put it out to the world, and even more money to put it out to the world and get people to be able to buy it and stuff. Although the early days of the internet made that more and more possible, and now we're in the maybe not the prime of the internet, but at least at a point where you can download a piece of software, make loads of music on it, and express yourself creatively, and just put it out there into the ethos, into the, is that the word? Ether, sorry. I've been saying ethos too much. Out there into the ether, onto SoundCloud or onto Spotify or wherever, and you probably won't make any money for it if you're not doing the promotion and the shows and blah, 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 but you are expressing yourselves creatively, and so many people do that now. Yeah.
Actually, it's there's a lot of debate amongst sort of like record companies and
Yeah.
in the professional music world where they're seeing this as an issue because
It's like the market is saturated.
there's so much music because it's so easy to put music onto Spotify and stuff
Yeah.
that it sort of you've got this massive sea of stuff that's not that good, so it's even harder for the stuff that's really good to kind of shine, and that's what a lot of talk is in like in indie music spheres and record companies and stuff are talking about this. But it doesn't seem right to be thinking of it that way. It's like, how could it possibly be a bad thing that loads of people are making music and putting it out into the world, even if most of it's rubbish?
I imagine most record. I think more than going, sitting there and going, oh, this is bad for us and bad for the business, bad for music. I think most record companies are like. I mean, if you're smart, you change with the times, right? And I think most record companies are trying to keep the so independent image.
I would just kind of interrupt and say, I think most record companies. Do you have any idea, realistically?
Well,
or would that be just an assertion? For clarity, I don't want to get us into any trouble by misleading people.
No, that's very true. But when you see someone who presents as an independent artist, and they probably started off as an independent artist, and they really worked hard to do all of the social media marketing and the reels and the sort of bedroom or garage or whatever like type stuff that makes it some sort of and they're still posting that kind of content, but you go into their bios and you see that they've actually been signed by like a massive label, and it's obviously there is an I think it would be okay. I'm not naming any record companies. I'm not saying that this is a done thing, but there's definitely
totally.
if you were like it's just the times, like you would take advantage of the fact that is how popular music is kind of, unless you're talking about the big pop star, I don't know, Sabrina Carpenter and that, like there is the independent music scene has really moved online, and you would be silly as a label not to try and jump on that.
Absolutely, and you do see it, and interesting, even with like social media managing companies, like you'll see reels that have been shot with a sort of a bad angle on a phone, and then it's gone viral, and you click on it, and the profile's like managed by this company.
Exactly.
And it is interesting that kind of shift in sort of what people kind of respond to online and stuff. It is interesting.
Yeah.
It is really interesting. And so in terms of, I guess where we fit into all of that, so far we've not really established our online voice particularly. I don't think, and I don't know. This is maybe a good place where the kind of aim with this is to help us just get on that and just really just put ourselves out there. We're not particularly promoting this yet until we think it's good, but it's a nice place for us to kind of to start by putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, and stay suspicious once our social media output gets massive. Keep checking our bio for insert massive record label here.
Yeah, definitely. It is interesting, and a lot of what, in my mind, I am behind the times. Like I'm not clued into the internet properly. I've always been a bit behind on that stuff, quite comfortably, to be honest. That's your job, and Stella.
To be brain rotted.
No, just to be up to speed with it.
Yeah.
I like more in-person kind of people-to-people connections. That's just the way I like things. But actually, is what's really powerful about online and building online community, which is something that I'd be interested in building as we go. which we'll talk about later on once it's figured out more. But when I was like younger, as a teenager, most of my social time was online. I went to a school with like no one, and I had like 3 friends at peak. Generally, it was like 1 or 2, and we would go home and we'd play video games together. And I still wasn't particularly social on online communities, but for people that would have been like me, a bit antisocial, a bit of a gamer, having these online communities is massive and really, really beneficial. I know that someone else is part of the Central Hob sphere that I won't name without kind of permission, is really gets a lot out of online communities. And so, I don't know. This is kind of a totally different kind of conversation, but it's an interesting one. What do you think the kind of implications of having online communities sort of detached from in-person ones?
I mean, I don't know. I think I've seen it happen. I'm well aware of what it's like to spend a lot of time on the internet and just be kind of totally engrossed on what people are saying about things generally on any social media website, and it kind of, I think it does create a reality, or like almost not an alternate reality, but a reality within a reality, which is what a bunch of people online are saying and thinking as sort of the collective echo chamber, or whatever you want to call it. But if you actually talk to those people if you actually go out into the street and talk to people, that's not what the world is like. Yeah. That's not what people actually think. And I think there's a danger. There is a danger of becoming slightly indoctrinated into that way of thinking, and slightly losing touch with what people are actually like. I think it's dangerous to assume, and I guess people have been, internet safety courses have been saying this since the beginning of the internet. Yeah. It's dangerous to assume.
Who watches internet safety courses?
In school you were. I mean, I don't know if you were, but I had to watch loads of them.
And when you watched them, did you think this is a load of rubbish?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It was all anti-cyberbullying stuff, so you can't really say it's a load of rubbish. But like, yeah, exactly. Like that. The classic. I saw your willy video. I don't know if you saw that. I'll show you later. It's like it's not funny.
Whoa.
But
that's on record. That's on record. People out there, you are witnesses.
You are witnesses to
Monty's will
potential.
Don't worry.
Crime.
No, there's no crimes committed in our organisation.
Of course not. But that's one of the many videos I was forced to watch. Anyway. I say forced. I was made to watch as part of a probably quite a good and relatively progressive push in schools to educate children who are going to be online and going to be exposed to all kinds of horrible stuff, to sort of prepare them for the fact that, as I was saying, there is a massive danger of assuming that people who you meet online or who you see expressing themselves online they're not representative. They might not really be who they say they are. Yeah. And 2, they're probably not representative of just people generally, the people they claim to represent, or just they might not be representative of what they're actually like in real life.
Yeah.
So
it's really interesting. Yeah. It is really interesting that it's kind of like it's a separate world entirely, and I suppose it's populated by people that aren't necessarily thriving in the in-person world. Yeah. Largely, I think, for whatever reasons that might be, it makes sense. Like, if you're not engaging as much with this world, or if you're engaging loads with the other world, you're probably not going to engage with this world as much. And there's a bit of separation, actually. Yeah. Like, if you go out into the streets, talk to people, I mean, for one, people haven't got the anonymity and the sort of safety to just say what they want, maybe. And maybe people that are just out in the real world are just generally a bit more sound.
It's just interesting because the implication when you're talking about politics, particularly,
Yeah.
for example, during the last presidential election, um, you would, from my experience on the internet, from what I could see, like I would have thought it was a pretty sure bet that Kamala Harris would would win the race, and that liberalism would prevail, whatever, because that was the kind of environment that I was in. But actually, I mean, well, debatable what actually happened in the election. I don't know. I'm not going to make any make any comments about that here. But if you take it at face value, what happened is the people of like America, the actual like working voting people of America voted for Trump, and something that a lot of people online that I saw were really shocked by. They were like, I didn't see this coming at all. Like because you
see a reflection of yourself in the world around you generally.
Yeah, on social media. So and it just might not be accurate.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just picking that out a little bit, because in the real world, you tend to kind of have a community of people that are a bit like you. But online, it's like a much more extreme version of that, because it could be anyone from around the world. So it's got these algorithms in place to kind of to pick out exactly who you are and what your interests are, and so you get stuff that's kind of so much more reflective of you, and you see much more of that, and it's more extreme than in person, where you've got like more generalized and newspapers or whatever, and you've got friends that are kind of probably not exactly like you and have maybe slightly different views, and so you get a sort of broader perception of the world.
Well,
I guess.
in real life, you are rarely exposed to someone like just because of their, like you don't. It's not really polite to just ask about someone's political opinions or whatever, but like off the bat and then go, like that's not really how you socialize with people. But online it's very different, I think, because people are having these conversations constantly. I'm not saying that it's not like, I certainly would stop associating with people because of their political opinions, but that's like that's quite an extreme. And that's not, again, I don't think that's how people socialize. I don't think that's how people should socialize.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've been thinking a lot about like communities and what makes a community, what makes it strong. And I was having a conversation, and we came to some kind of empirical conclusions that I've totally forgotten. So I'm going to ask you, what makes a community?
What makes a community? I don't know. I might give an answer now, and I might completely change my mind later.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I guess what comes to mind is, like, a shared interest in something.
Yeah, something in common.
Something in common. Yeah. So it doesn't. It could be like it could be. You can have a political community, and that can be online. So you might have a shared interest in a party or in a policy or in something, or some change you want to see in the world. You might have a shared interest in the space in which you live. So a house, we're a community. Like your neighborhood, that's a community, and that's your shared interest. Like musical communities. That's
So it's interesting, because that's actually one of the big kind of conclusions from this other conversation I had, is like, you have something in common within a community, whatever that is. So then what makes a community sort of strong? Like, because diversity is got to be quite important in life, and in a community, for example, in a team working on something like Central Hob, you've got to have that diversity in the way people's brains work. Because I'm really good at some things. I'm really, really bad at like writing stuff. But luckily, I've got people around me that are really good at writing stuff. And so the skills, that diversity of brains is really important in covering multiple skills, and for having sort of challenges of thought, like asking kind of questions that might be challenging helps you grow. and I think that's really important in a community.
Yeah.
As well as having things in common. So it's an interesting one because perhaps online communities, it's much more, you've got much more in common perhaps within like your echo chamber, but maybe not as much of the diversity thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's also, but like, I think it's more like in an online community. And it's very possible to socialize properly online and to make friends online. Like I really don't necessarily relate to it, but I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like in an online community where everything is focused on one thing. It's far less likely. This is kind of an assumption. But basically, on experience, it's far less likely that you're going to see the other sides of that person.
Yeah.
Or because you can't, like, they're not there, you're not actually talking to them, you can't see them, you don't know what they're like and how they work, you just kind of might, you just have this one thing in common, that's kind of all you know about them. Whereas, I don't know, if you're in a it's probably easier to gauge what people are like in real life, right?
Yeah,
and surely always will be.
Who knows? But yeah, like, it's interesting. I'm really fascinated in learning more about communities, and I think everyone we have on, I'm going to ask a question about like what is community, because if we're trying to build communities and we want to make strong communities, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but I don't feel a strong sense of community geographically necessarily. Even within, like, there's at the conservatoire where we're in, there is a community, and it's definitely potent, and like, but I don't necessarily feel like I'm a part of that, and I'm happy about that because I don't fit it quite, and I've got, my department is much smaller and more antisocial, and so like there's an interesting thing, and like within this neighborhood, you can tell that there is a bit of a community, which is largely, people meeting through the schools, I think. But I don't feel a part of that sort of geographically, and I wonder how you can build strong kind of communities of like people around you, because I think that's important, having people around you that you feel connected to, not just kind of, and even just like what we're going to hopefully do with our works in progress kind of open mic thing is having a space that's like regular, where you've got a community, which like the Sunday sessions is totally achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the epitome of that. I think.
And like we've got quite an amazing community. I've definitely got an amazing community around me.
Yeah.
But it's how do you build these things, and I don't know. It's what do you think?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of if you're like, these things do like kind of happen to you to an extent, but that's not to say that if you're not. That's not to say that if you're all right, like it'll just automatically happen. Like it's not always, not everyone finds it easy to socialize.
No, I mean, I've know quite a few people that have gone to uni and it's taken a full, it's taken a year before they've really found their group, their
and that like, uni's kind of a wild card, right? Because we're both very lucky in that we were put. So we were randomly, not quite randomly, because you knew people, but basically just sort of you're randomly put into a living situation with a bunch of people that you don't know, and you have to. I think most people, from people that I know, the average experience is like you get along with some of them, and you don't really. Sometimes you really don't, but like you're not necessarily really great friends with everyone.
Yeah.
In that, because it is random. We were lucky in that we were we just all like loved each other immediately. But that I think that has quite a big effect, because if you get off on the wrong foot, and it's not your like fault at all, then I know if I had, then it would have been a lot harder for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't just been put into that, if I hadn't been given a good head start, it
Yeah,
would have been harder for me to
definitely. And
to
it's
have mates at
yeah,
college.
and it's interesting if you don't go to uni, like because obviously you've got all of school where you're thrown and you're mixed with people, and you kind of are forced to be around people and you make friends like. And uni is a similar kind of thing. You've got people around you. You've got shared experience. There's community. Once that's finished, I think it's probably, or if you don't go to uni and you're just going into life, like the big scary world, it's different. And I know that people find community through work and stuff, and that's got to be a big one. And I think it's probably much easier to find community if you're doing work that you love doing. Otherwise, it could be bleak, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you know, I suppose there's some spaces, and it depends where you live. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I was just thinking. I was just thinking that I have a lot to get done.
Whoa, it's 12:30.
Yeah, is what I was thinking. Is where I went in my head for the last 30 seconds.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced tea. Yeah.
Maybe we should sort of wind it off here.
Yeah, I think we've kind of driven the point home. To be honest, about
we've spoken about all sorts of things.
about what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, on that note, because we both have very lot to do this weekend.
We do.
Have a lovely rest of your weekend. If any, I think probably no one's still listening.
That's okay.
Apart from maybe Stella, but
Actually, you should be studying.
Yeah.
Studying hard.
Yeah, which is what we should be doing. So
it really should be.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Anyone
Yeah.
who has, thank you anyone who's actually watched this. If you could bear to not live.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Do hit the like button. Maybe don't comment, don't like, because just wait until the videos get a little bit better. But do subscribe, because they progressively are going to get more and more interesting as we kind of get comfortable and get into the flow of it.
Yeah, well, interact in any way you feel is deserved.
Yeah. Do put comments and we'll reply to them within a day or two. Send us an email.
Yeah, so, yeah. If there's anything you want to like, if you want to like work with us on anything, if you're interested in what we're doing and you want to like get involved, then please like.
Yeah, do get in
touch with us, please do.
Definitely, if you've got any questions, any thoughts, any feedback on how we can make this more useful for people, do let us know. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra. Stopping stream, stopping stream, stopping stream, stopping stream, stopping.
Yes.